What's up, YouTube? I'm Red Juice Recipes. Welcome back to the channel. Today we're starting a new series called Flavors You Need, and that is exactly what we're going to talk about. Flavors that you need to own. So I talk about the topic of budget so much in the DIY Made Easy series that I felt like it really kind of warranted its own video series. Something that newer mixers are always concerned with, and something that's really kind of a barrier when you're just getting into DIY, is the amount of money that you have to spend to acquire all of the flavors. Enough of us have been doing this for long enough, and there's a wealth of information out there available to you. So once and for all, I'm going to make a definitive list of flavors that you need to own if you're a new mixer. First, I'm going to break it down by flavor company, and the first flavor company that we're going to talk about is one of my personal favorites, Flavorah. Flavorah has tons and tons of really, really, really good flavors. Just because one of these flavors is not in this list does not mean that it is not good. If you are ever curious about a flavor, head over to elr.com. Look the flavor up and read the notes. People have taken time to write notes about each flavor, and they're good ones too. People write solid notes on ELR, and that information is free, readily available, and easily accessible. If you're ever curious, you could also head over to DIY or Die YouTube channel and check out the series Noted. The three individuals on Noted put in hours and hours and hours of work every week to test out flavors, good or bad, so that you don't have to. So, say you were curious about Flavorah Vanilla Pudding, which is the first flavor on this list. It's one of probably my personal very favorite #1 ingredient, at least right now. It's great. Noted, amazing show. You should watch all of it every week. Check them out Monday nights. I think it's 10 p.m. Central. Awesome. There's a link to the DIY or Die YouTube channel down in the description of this video. So, like I said, Flavorah flavors, I've picked out a couple that I think are essential for your collection. If you're just getting into DIY, these are flavors that you need to purchase. The first one, like I said, is Flavorah Vanilla Pudding. Flavorah Vanilla Pudding is an incredibly versatile, essential vanilla flavor. It is what I would call the new age king of vanillas. You can use Flavorah Vanilla Pudding down as low as 1% if you just want that kind of medium dark, nice, creamy vanilla note. You can also push Flavorah Vanilla Pudding up super duper high. You can use it at 3%, you can use it at 4%, and it's thick and it's dappy without being super buttery. It has a lot of creamy body and mouthfeel. Flavorah Vanilla Pudding is just so good. Another essential Flavorah flavor that I think that you need to own is Flavorah Caramel. Don't let the name fool you. Flavorah Caramel is not a caramel flavor, but it is the best, and I mean it, the best brown sugar flavor that is available anywhere. Anywhere. Speaking of availability, all of these flavors are on bullcityflavors.com. You can head over to bullcityflavors.com and pick up all of these flavors. In fact, that's something that is important for this series. In order for a flavor to be in one of these videos, for flavors you need, it has to be available on bullcityflavors.com, because I think that that's something else that's a little bit of a barrier when people are getting into DIY, is that if they want this flavor, they have to buy it from this vendor. And if they want this flavor, they have to buy it from this vendor, because A vendor doesn't have this flavor, but B vendor does. And then you're caught paying two different shipping rates. Yeah, so like I said, every one of these flavors, it's available. bullcityflavors.com. Go check them out. It's where I buy all my flavors. Fantastic. So Flavorah Caramel, Really, really, really good brown sugar. It works really well in bakeries. It works really, really well with tobaccos. It is just a super duper good brown sugar flavor. Max from Developed, link down in the description. Max always says that if you're making cookies, you're not making cookies unless you're using Flavorah caramel. And I gotta say, I tried that out the other day, and cookies with Flavorah caramel in them are tremendously better than cookies that don't have Flavorah caramel in them. So that's the second flavor on this list. And the last Flavorah flavor that made it on to flavors you need is Flavorah Cream. Flavorah Cream is a really, really thick dairy note. It has a lot of mouthfeel and body. It works for bakeries, desserts, things like that. You could use it in tobaccos, but Flavorah Cream, I think, is a Flavorah flavor that you need to own. Something that I really, really like about Flavorah Cream is that it really doesn't carry any other notes. A lot of times with the thicker cream flavors, they carry some vanilla along with them. Flavorah Cream, it doesn't have any of that in there. It's just a really, really good cream. You can use it down low at 1/4%, at 1/2% to just add some body to your recipe. You can use it up at 1 for that really nice, thick cream. It does really, really well in beverages too. I really like Flavorah Cream in beverages. So those are the Flavorah flavors that I think that you need to own. And like I said, Flavorah, tons and tons of bangers. Just because a flavor of Flavorah's isn't on this list doesn't mean that I don't like it or that it's not fantastic or that you shouldn't own it. But I think that these three, you need them. You can't DIY without these three flavors. Definitive. It's defined. You know what else? This wouldn't be a Ruggly Juice Recipes video without a recipe. So today we're doing an all Flavorah recipe, and it has all three of these flavors in it. And it is a creamy brown sugar donut. All three of those flavors, and another one of my favorites from Flavorah, Flavorah Maple Bar. Flavorah Maple Bar is a really thick, yeasty donut with like some maple icing over the top of it. And we're going to use Flavorah Maple Bar in this recipe at 3%. We're going to use it with 3% of Flavorah Vanilla Pudding, because 3% of the donut and 3% of the Flavorah Vanilla Pudding is going to give us a really nice cream-filled donut. We are going to back up that cream note with 1% of Flavorah Cream, because that's really going to make that pop off like a nice, thick Bavarian cream. It'll be sweet, it'll be dairy, and Flavorah Caramel is really going to set off that maple note. It's going to solidify that icing over the top of it. I got to tell you, this all Flavorah recipe using only 4 ingredients is fantastic. As far as sweetener goes, it's completely subjective. If you want to sweeten up your liquids, sweeten them up. If you don't want to, you can leave it out. But for this recipe, I use 1% of Flavorah sweetness because I think that Flavorah sweetness works really, really well with donuts. I think it works really, really well with creams. And I think it works really, really well in this recipe. So let's try it out. I really love a good donut profile. This recipe is going to take about a week to steep for that donut to really develop, for those creams to really thicken up. But this is a very, very authentic cream-filled maple donut. Listen, if you like what I'm doing here, please subscribe to the channel. Turn notifications on so that I get to annoy you every time I upload a video. There's a link to my Patreon campaign down in the description of this video. If you can afford to give me $3 a month to keep me doing what I'm doing, then I surely appreciate it. You get yourself some sweet benefits. If you can't, that's okay too. Like the video, comment down below what you think if you tried out this recipe, and I will definitely see you guys in the next one.